What if a station wagon could climb mountains like a Jeep, corner like a sports car, and carry your entire family with their camping gear to elevations most cars could only dream of? In 1995, Subaru delivered exactly that machine. It was not trying to be everything to everyone. It was laser focused on being the ultimate do anything wagon, and for a brief moment in automotive history, they absolutely nailed it. We are talking about the first generation Subaru Legacy Outback, and in this video, we take a closer look at it. The story begins not with Subaru's engineering department, but with their marketing team, looking at American buyers in the early 1990s. Station wagons were dying. Sport utility vehicles were beginning their unstoppable rise. But Subaru noticed something fascinating. A small but passionate group of outdoor enthusiasts wanted the cargo space and efficiency of a wagon, but they needed genuine off-road capability. These were not mall crawlers. They were people driving to trailheads, launching kayaks, and accessing remote campsites. The company saw an opportunity that nobody else was chasing. The solution was deceptively simple in concept, but remarkably sophisticated in execution. Take the already capable legacy wagon, raise it, toughen it, and make it look the part, without turning it into a pretender. The base platform was already perfect for this mission. Every legacy came with Subaru's signature symmetrical all-wheel drive system, not the on-demand setup that most competitors were offering. It was full-time all-wheel drive with a viscous, limited slip center differential. Power was split 50-50 between front and rear under normal conditions, automatically redistributing up to 90% to either axle when traction demanded it. There were no buttons to press, no modes to select. The system simply worked, constantly and transparently. But Subaru did not stop with the drivetrain everyone expected. They lifted the entire wagon by 2 inches, bringing ground clearance to 7.9 inches. That might not sound dramatic, but it fundamentally changed the vehicle's capability. Approach and departure angles improved significantly. Obstacles that would scrape the belly of a standard Legacy suddenly cleared with room to spare. This was not cosmetic. This was functional elevation that opened up entire categories of terrain that wagons simply could not access before. The suspension received a complete rework to handle the new ride height. Larger diameter coil springs maintained ride quality while supporting the increased travel. Subaru retuned the dampers specifically for the additional suspension movement, keeping body roll in check during highway driving while allowing enough compliance for rough trails. The result was a vehicle that rode comfortably on pavement but did not wallow or float like traditional SUVs of the era. It felt planted, controlled, and responsive in ways that surprised anyone expecting typical truck-based handling. Under the hood sat a 2.5-liter horizontally opposed 4-cylinder engine producing 155 horsepower and 152 pound-feet of torque. Those were not impressive figures by any measure. Subaru was not chasing straight-line speed, but that flat 4-boxer configuration positioned the entire engine low in the chassis, dropping the center of gravity far below what a conventional inline or V configuration could achieve. Every component, every design decision pulled weight downward and centralized it. The engine sat low, the transmission sat low, the all-wheel drive components distributed mass evenly across the wheelbase. The entire package delivered a feeling of stability that physics absolutely required. Subaru then wrapped this mechanical foundation in distinctly rugged, aesthetic touches that signaled capability without veering into cartoonish territory. Unpainted black plastic cladding covered the lower body panels, bumpers, and wheel arches. This was not decorative. The material protected painted surfaces from trail damage, stone chips, and the kind of contact that happens when you are actually using ground clearance. Above that, roof rails came standard, ready to accept cargo boxes, kayak mounts, or bike racks without requiring dealer accessories. At the front, a two-tone grille incorporated body-colored upper sections with black mesh below, giving the Outback a distinctive face that differentiated it from the standard Legacy without aggressive styling theatrics. The wheels told their own story. Subaru fitted 15-inch steel wheels, wrapped in 205 70R15 all-season tires designed with deeper tread patterns than typical passenger car rubber. The tire sidewalls stood taller, providing additional cushioning over rough surfaces and extra puncture resistance. These were not off-road specialty tires that howled on pavement. They were smart compromises that expanded capability without sacrificing everyday drivability. The combination of tire and suspension worked together to absorb impacts that would have punished occupants in a standard wagon. Moving forward inside the cabin, Subaru maintained their reputation for pragmatic, functional interiors without unnecessary complexity. The dashboard followed clean horizontal lines with clearly marked controls falling easily to hand. The instrument cluster centered on a large speedometer flanked by smaller fuel and temperature gauges. No digital gimmicks, no overly complicated menus. Everything you needed to monitor the vehicle presented itself with analog clarity. Climate control sat in the center stack with simple rotary knobs for temperature and fan speed. The radio occupied the space above, straightforward and replaceable if desired. The seating position deserves particular attention. Subaru set the driver's seat higher than conventional wagons, but lower than truck-based SUVs. The position provided excellent outward visibility in all directions, without requiring a step or climb to enter. You sat upright, commanding a clear view over the hood and surrounding traffic, yet you did not feel perched or disconnected from the road. The steering wheel positioned itself perfectly in relation to the pedals and seat, creating a driving position that encouraged engagement rather than passive piloting. Rear passengers benefited from genuine adult space. The 60-40 split folding rear bench offered legitimate room for three across with headroom and legroom that did not require contortion. Behind that, the cargo area provided 36.5 cubic feet with the rear seats in place, expanding to over 68 cubic feet with seats folded flat. The load floor sat at a convenient height, low enough for easy loading, but high enough to accommodate the spare tire and provide proper suspension travel beneath. Small touches mattered here. Cargo tie, down points anchored into the floor structure. The rear hatch opened wide with gas struts that held position even on slopes. Quarter panel storage bins kept smaller items organized and accessible. The driving experience unified all these elements into something genuinely different from anything else available at the time. On pavement, the Outback felt taut and responsive despite its raised stance. The low center of gravity overcame the additional ride height, allowing the wagon to change direction with confidence and minimal body lean. Steering feedback came through clearly without being heavy or overly assisted. The chassis communicated road surface conditions without harshness. Highway driving felt stable and composed even in strong crosswinds, the wide track and balanced weight distribution resisting disturbance. Take that same vehicle onto dirt roads, gravel, or mild trails, and the transformation became apparent. The raised clearance meant confidence over obstacles. The all-wheel drive system meant traction without drama. The compliant suspension absorbed washboard surfaces without bouncing occupants around the cabin. You could maintain reasonable speeds on rough surfaces because the vehicle fundamentally handled them better than alternatives. This was not crawling over boulders. This was accessing places that passenger cars simply could not reach while maintaining the refinement and efficiency those cars offered. Winter capability deserves special mention. The symmetrical all-wheel drive system, combined with proper ground clearance and balanced weight distribution, made the Outback genuinely excellent in snow and ice. Where front-wheel drive cars struggled for traction climbing hills and rear-wheel drive vehicles fishtailed during acceleration, the Outback simply went. The system's ability to automatically redistribute power meant drivers did not need to think about managing traction. The vehicle handled it. Deep snow that would have stopped lower vehicles cleared under the raised body. The practical capability in adverse weather conditions made the Outback a rational choice in snowbelt regions, not an enthusiast indulgence. Subaru positioned the pricing strategically. The base Outback started around $21,000, slotting it between economy wagons and entry-level sport utility vehicles. That pricing made it accessible to practical buyers who needed capability but did not want truck-based vehicle costs and fuel economy penalties. Subaru was not chasing luxury buyers. They were targeting outdoor enthusiasts, young families, and pragmatic individuals who recognized that the Outback delivered 90% of sport utility vehicle capability without the compromises those vehicles demanded. The value proposition worked because the vehicle genuinely delivered on its promises. The market response validated Subaru's gamble. The Outback became the company's best-selling model almost immediately. It captured precisely the audience Subaru identified, then expanded beyond that as word spread about this unusual wagon that could do everything. The success spawned an entire category of lifted wagons and crossovers that dominates today's market. But here's what is fascinating about the original. It succeeded precisely because it was not trying to be everything. It had a clear mission, executed brilliantly within focused parameters. Looking at today's automotive landscape, the original Outback's purity stands out. Modern Outbacks have grown larger, heavier, and more complex. They have added technology, comfort, and refinement, but they have also drifted toward being soft rotors rather than genuinely capable outdoor vehicles. The first generation model maintained that perfect balance between car and truck, refinement and ruggedness, everyday usability, and weekend adventure capability. It proved you did not need to choose between these qualities. You could have them all in one thoughtfully designed package. What is your take on Subaru's original formula? Do you think they found the perfect balance with that first Outback, or have modern improvements made newer versions better all-around vehicles? Information for this video came from period road tests in Car and Driver, Motor Trend archives, and Subaru's original press materials from 1995. If you enjoyed this deep dive into automotive history, check out our video on the Volvo 240, another vehicle that proved station wagons could be genuinely exciting. Thanks for watching.